dancing, bro. Chill out.
Suckers try to battle, but they get their heads burst. Suckers try to battle, but they get their heads burst. Suckers try to battle, but they get their heads burst. Suckers try to battle, but they get their heads burst. Suckers try to battle, but they get their heads burst. Suckers try to battle.
What's up, everyone? This is the It's Just Breaking podcast, episode number 43. And we have a super special guest all the way from Finland, representing FlowMo crew. He is a legend in the breaking scene. And if there were gods in breaking, he would be the god of footwork. And he's also the grandmaster of the Bboy Dojo. Focus.
Oh, shoot. Yo, focus.
Oh my, thank you for the invitation. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Focus. It's an honor.
Yeah,
My pleasure completely. Honor is all mine.
Yo, Focus. You're technically one of our first breaking teachers because, you know, we grew up watching your DVDs, your footwork.
Wow. It's a small world. That's crazy. Okay. So, what did you learn?
You know, the 1 ball 8 step?
Yeah, let's go.
8 ball 1 step? Oh my goodness, I'm messing up already.
Yo, all the foundation,
already
like
crashed.
6 step, 2 steps.
Right. Shout out to
I'm
Kenny.
already crashing in the prelim.
But yeah, so Focus. So I guess before we get into like the true instructions, so tell us about that DVD that you made. Like I feel like that was what introduced a lot of the breakers from Canada to you and like in the world as well.
Oh, okay. That's dope. Good to hear this. There was a guy in London who kind of organized everything. Russell, he had a company. I think One Red Pixel was the name of the company, and they just hit me up like, we want to make a Bboy DVD because there are not too many around. There was a couple of VHS from the 90s and early 2000s, but not too many DVDs like that. So he just hit me up. Let's do this. I have a drummer with me. His name is Ed Funk. Maybe we could collaborate with this one. And it turned out to be super dope. Yeah. They flew me out to London, or actually Brighton, down south of the UK. So I spent 2 weeks over there. And a cool thing, there's a couple of cool stories about this, right? So first of all, the drummer, he's a B-boy himself. But he was taught by some of the original JB's drummers, Clive Stubblefield, right? So he's a student of these guys. That's why I could name any breakbeat that I knew of, and he's like, "Was it this one?" And he played it.
Oh,
that I could recognize just from the drums.
Yeah,
crazy.
That's
so
crazy.
That first, and secondly, I spent 2 weeks. It was 1 week per DVD, but only the first one got released. So we actually have volume 2, recorded, edited, all of that stuff. That was more like an advanced one. Scripted out, shot, edited, ready. But for some reason, I don't know why, the company never pushed it out. So somewhere in their vaults, they have a volume 2 that
come on,
never came out, guys.
Yo, if there were a time for that, it would be right now. Because I swear, after the Olympics, there's gonna be a whole wave of new generation.
Yes, indeed. I hope so too. But all of the stuff that I scripted for that one, I just put out on the dojo instead. Reshot it. People are rocking it now, nevertheless, nowadays. So it's all good in the hood.
Yo, Focus is basically a professor, a breaking professor. He has all the curriculum written down and all that stuff from the beginning.
Teacher.
Yes, indeed.
So
let's
take it back now. Let's rewind it written back, boy. How did you start? How did you get into breaking? How did breaking come to Finland too?
Yeah, a lot of people want to know that as well.
Well, I was really young when breaking came to Finland. Actually, the same year. I was born in 1983, and that was the year that breaking came. There was only a couple of people who did it. Real soon, the next year, movies started to be in the big screens. You had B Street, Wild Styles, Star Wars, and these things. But Wild Styles, B Street was actually in the theaters over here, and that started pretty much the whole generation of B-boys in the 80s. You guys watch B Street?
Hell yeah! Oh man, so good.
Good.
It's actually a good movie.
Yeah, it's all right. Kind of a Hollywood script. Version
that's
of
how it is.
At the same time, super influential as far as hip hop worldwide. So, of course, I was born in '83. I was 1 year old when B3 came out, so I couldn't know about it. But 10 years later, I was 11 at the time. I go to a party that people would just throw for our school. So those just like random parties that were going down, and suddenly there's a cipher in the bit between the audience. The cipher opens up, somebody spins on their back, does the worm. I walk closer, and I'm like, shit, this is the coolest kids of the school getting busy on the floor. And of course, everybody went crazy. I didn't really know what it was, so that sparked the interest, and somehow I learned from my best friend at the time that there's this 80s b-boy called Mikko who's teaching classes in my school. So we took part, and I kept going, and he didn't. Everybody else quit. But for a really short time, everybody in my city was breaking, which is crazy because
Damn.
Hell yeah.
mid 90s, there wasn't too many b-boys around anywhere. So in
Mhm.
my small city of 5,000 people, it's called Muurame. There was 5,000 people, not even the city, a village. We had mad b-boys for a very short time. Everybody else quit. I kept going.
Yeah, I feel like
That's
like,
how it is.
in breaking, there's like a lot of attrition. Like for every 20 b-boys that start, maybe only like 2 of them keep going on and for like 10 plus years. That's at least what
Yeah.
happened at my high school.
It
Yeah,
is. It is.
for me.
It is what it is. It's frustrating as a teacher sometimes. You give so much hope like all of these guys at the class going to be credible, and suddenly they move on to something like football. It's like
Yeah.
but it is
Mhm.
what it is. You gotta accept it, be aware of it, and just be cool with it.
Mhm,
There's
for
always
sure.
that one that stands out and stays in the game. Be
100%.
grateful for these
Why do you
guys.
think that is? Why do you think that is that people just like they just don't stick with it? Do you think it's like
Breaking is
money
hard,
or
guys. Breaking
Yeah,
is
yeah,
hard. Yeah, it's not an easy thing
real?
to do. It must be the hardest dance form in the
Oh,
planet.
you get hurt in
Mhm.
it, like like you don't get good until like 5
Like 10
plus years
years.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a certain kind of personality, and also gotta be stubborn to do it. Hit yourself on the floor a million
Oh
times
for
and
sure.
regroup,
Mhm,
recover, and get back to it. So yeah, it's
mhm.
not for everybody in that way.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, true. How'd you get into FlowMo? Or how did FlowMo start if you started it?
All right. FlowMo was formed in 2002, April 21st, if I remember right. So
Oh
soon
shit.
20 years.
Hell yeah.
And it was a time when my old crew at the time, my crew used to be called Midpoint Rockers because we were right in the center of the country. We thought we were the
Ah.
center of
Mm.
the scene, right? And there was another crew called Savage Feet from Helsinki, the capital. Both of our crews have been active for a little while, and people started to move on to other things. We had a couple of people left in Midpoint, we had a couple of people left in Savage Feet. We're both at the top of our skill level at the time, so we thought we need to unite and start battling outside of the country too.
Mhm.
So after doing like one battle together, 2 battles together, we decided like, all right, we need to form a crew, make this official, and start making some noise internationally too. So that's when FlowMo was formed. One of the original members, Taya, was there also, still in the game. One of the originals, Vortex, and we were there with the other members at the time, and just decided that Flow Motion is a good name. In
Flow
short,
motion,
Flow
yeah,
Mo.
I like
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
other people break in slow mo. We always have a dope flow when we go down to get down.
Ooh,
So
hit
that's
him,
why.
yo. Nice. True.
Oh yeah.
So who are some like the most active members of FlowMo, and what's going on with FlowMo right now?
All right. Well, we are preparing for the 20-year anniversary next spring, trying to make it
Yo.
into a jam. Hopefully everything goes good with the restrictions and all, so we could throw it. Should be about time since we had to cancel for 2 years in a row.
Mhm.
The crew is doing good. Of course, everybody's in their 40s or 30s or over 40s, whatever. So it's not an everyday active kind of thing as it was 20 years ago. But at the same time, we still vibe together. And first of all, of course, we have a big history of friendship besides
Mhm.
breaking as well. So we vibe. We just did a show 2 days ago in another city and going for another show tomorrow. So doing shows, rocking
Nice.
ciphers. Some people still entering battles. Some
Mm.
people do music. We have writers in the crew and all kinds of stuff.
Mhm. Yo, James, bro, that's a reason to hit up Europe right now, yo. Next year, things
Actually,
are open up.
I was gonna ask you more questions because like my crew, like we all met up the other day and we're all talking about like, yo, we should go to this. And then like my boy was like, yo, we should go to the FlowMo anniversary. And I'm like, yo, I want to
they already
focus on
knew?
the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, they didn't
you guys
know.
should. You
And I'm
guys
like, oh, I
should.
guess it's meant to be.
It's a dope weekend. We got one competition called No Holding Back, which is a one-on-one with a special system. I can tell you more about it. But besides that, it's more about just getting people together and vibe out.
Okay.
Graffiti walls, barbecues, after parties, workshops, all of that good stuff.
Mm,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
planning
And we
to
might
do a
have
dojo camp the week before it. So hopefully that could be like catch the two things at once.
Mhm.
But we'll see. We'll see. And
Yeah, we'll see
No Holding
how the
Back.
world
I
is
don't know if
now.
you heard about it. I don't know if you heard about No Holding Back.
No,
The
tell us
No.
about
one
the
system we do. yeah, one-on-one system that we do, but more of a cipher wipe in a battle in a way that we get no round limits, but every judge gets a flag.
Okay.
Once you have your decision, no matter how many rounds it is, 1, 5, 10, whatever it is, once you have your decision, you raise your flags. Once 3 flags are up, you get a decision, and the battle is gets to move on to the next one.
Nice. Yeah,
So
that's
in a
like
way,
okay.
there's a dope like a cipher vibe to it. It takes whatever it takes. If it's even, then it might be a couple of rounds more. If it's done on one take, that's fine. 1 round, knock somebody out, and move
yeah,
on
it's
to the
like
next battle.
yeah, it's like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's like
see, I
a
see,
KO
like that.
TKO system. Yeah, I like that. That's sick.
That's it. You gotta go kind of all out. Or if you got a great strategy, you can gas your opponent out, whatever.
Mhm.
But it's an entertaining way of organizing a competition too.
Yeah, that's really dope. Damn. But yeah, so speaking of competition, I remember another reason why a lot of people know you Focus is because IBE had like a footwork battle named after you. And we wanted to ask, so how did you develop your style and how did you become the god of footwork?
All right. Well. I started with power, guys. I started with
Oh
power.
yeah. We were watching your battle against Rivers Cruise, and I saw you pull out Air Flare 90. Hey, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. So that was something like everybody when you see breaking the first time, you see the big flashy moves and you want to give these a try, and that's it. But really soon when I started to do more battles myself, the older guys from Helsinki, the capital, they were dissing my footwork mad hard. They were like, Focus, your power is all right. Your footwork suck, it's mad whack.
Damn.
So I wanted to go back to the lab and show them what my footwork is really about. Just work my ass off to get it. But in general, I didn't really want to only get my footwork dope. I wanted to be dope in everything. I'm an all-rounder b-boy as I see it, not just a footwork head. Even though a lot of people know me for my footwork.
Oh yeah.
And little by little, yeah, entered a couple of footwork battles. Gets over here too.
Oh
2 of the
yeah, let's
3
go.
IBs.
Oh shit, you
Let's
talk
go.
to him, dog.
Things on the wall, and there's a third one over there. So yeah, Tyrone from the IBE, he called me up like, Focus, we want you to enter the footwork battle. So they flew me over. I came in, ended up winning it. I think about 200 people entered that year, so I ended up winning it.
Holy.
So it was like shit. So I went for another one in the UK champs. They had an IBE room a couple of months after. I went for that one and I ended up winning that one too. They were like, damn. And the next year they flew me back to IBE. I ended up winning that one too. So they're like, all right, you can have the title. That's fine. We call it
Damn.
Focus on Footwork Battle afterwards.
Nice.
You won it so many times. They're like, all right, we're just gonna name it after you, bro.
Yeah, at that point you
That's
might
it.
as well, yo. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was an
Yeah.
honor. That was a big thing for me, of course. And with that, we got to work on some like guidelines, not rules, but guidelines. So people who enter the battle kind of get educated on what is dope footwork. We have people throwing flares and throwing air freezes in the battle or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not that's not really what it's about.
Oh,
We worked on some guidelines so people who enter at least know what it takes to win.
Oh, so
Yeah.
Toronto, we're known for footwork too. However, like I swear, every time we have a footwork jam, every judges have different definition of footwork. James, what are some of the things in footwork battles that like are like kind of like I guess like pretzels? Like, do they count as footwork? Like, what do Toronto
Yeah,
do?
people do like back rocks, like they'll like mistake like foundational steps or stuff for like footwork, like back rocks. Some people say like knee rocks. They don't even do if you go on your knees, it's not footwork. So
Yeah, it's an endless discussion, and we always have these talks. And ask any judging footwork battle, they might be having a different kind of aspects or ideas.
yeah.
Oh,
So it's there's a lot of gray area. Yet at the same time, I think it's also about the way that you put it, the way you put it together. What is the framework? Do you make it look like footwork or not? So you can always say like, all right, thread is not footwork. Well, you could do it in a creative way where you maintain your form of footwork and in a way do a quick thread over there somewhere. Maybe you can turn it into something that could qualify as footwork. Who knows? But at the same time, I would have spent half of my round on my back. Like if I enter a footwork battle, then back rocks is kind of another thing. It's a different level. You have your top rock, you have your footwork, you have your back rock. So why do all back rocks in a footwork battle? It doesn't really make sense to me.
Yo, in my head, I thought like, yo, if you go on your back or the moment you do one flare, it's instant DQ or something like that. True.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
music just stops. Just Speaking of footwork,
over.
shout out to Switch B. So shout out to Switch B. He made it to the semifinals for the IB footwork one year.
Oh yeah, you did.
But then he got drunk and he just didn't go.
No.
Shout out to the homie.
Yeah.
All right.
yo. you have
Big props.
many iconic battles. Like just like doing a little bit of research just for this podcast. Like I just went through some of the classics, and it's like you were at like every jam, bro.
Mhm.
Like the 15 rounds versus Rocks, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's also that's a legendary battle, yo. That's a legendary
like
battle.
yo, that blew minds. Like my first teachers, they were like on you all the time. Like I'm not gonna lie, he was a focus copycat a little bit. And he was just
Okay.
he was like
Right.
he was just like, dude, this guy did full rounds versus he did full rounds for 15 times in a row. It's like he just went on and on. But yeah, man, like how do you train for like an event like that? Or even like when you did recently Machine, you battled Machine a couple like 7 rounds or so. Maybe I'm wrong. But like
Yeah.
how do you train for
like those long battles,
yeah,
and like all that stuff.
endurance rounds? Yeah. Endurance battles.
Yeah. Well. It's a lot of battles, so there's of course different phases of life. So training has been different too. The way that I trained for Rocks, right, for example, it was 12 rounds actually, not 15.
Oh, it wasn't?
12
Okay.
rounds.
It sounded better.
But it's still a lot of rounds,
though.
guys. It's still a lot
12
of
rounds
rounds.
a lot, man.
After like fourth or fifth round, I felt my legs like shit. This is gonna be hard. But yeah, around that time I was training with a martial artist coach.
Oh,
So he was actually making me fight. He was making me go through all these crazy drills, and he took me to the gym and all that stuff. He checked how I eat and such. So I would train him how to break, and he would train me in training in general in other aspects.
Yeah.
So there's that. And in general, for a big battle like this, or long battle, I would say 6 months prior would be good to know about it. Like if you get a 12-round battle for next week, it's not going to work. You're going to be gassed out after round two or three. But like if I got booked for a big exhibition battle, I would take 4, 5, 6 months of preparation for it, just to get in shape, the best possible shape. Same with Machine. Okay, Machine was a little bit later, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. 3 years ago, I think. And for that one, I was just battling my crew by myself. I was battling against everybody. I asked Poe, actually. I was judging an event with Poe One, and I asked him like, what should I do? How can I take out Machine? Because Machine's in great shape, even though when you're older than
his
me,
body, his muscles are crazy.
he's amazing. I was watching him prepare for that battle, and he was doing like pull-ups horizontally like this. I'm like, what the hell? That's crazy.
Animal, bro.
Of course, after something like this, I was like, fuck, I need to train hard. And I spoke with Paul, and Paul was like, all right, you need to go at least 2 or 3 times the rounds you would go against Machine in the practice, right? When you go at the spot, when you go to the event, there's all the pressure, there's the lights, there's the audience, and all of that stuff. So your stamina has to be 2 or 3 times longer and harder than the actual rounds of the battle. And for that battle was 7 rounds minimum with no top, but 7 rounds minimum. So I would think about it like, all right, I need to battle at least 21 rounds against somebody. And in the practice, the whole crew was out there. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go 21 rounds against you guys. Let's do this a bunch of times. Be ready for Machine. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the way you explain it, like, because I watch a lot of like mixed martial arts, and the way you explain it sounded exactly like how like a lot of the best fighters train. Like they have like sparring partners, they go like 5 rounds, they have a fresh body each time, and they also need like months in preparations for the battle as well to get like acclimated to the situation.
Dope, yeah. And some of the times I was working with sprints a lot, just running, but as far as running, making it into sprints, like interval training style. So that would be closer to the like the work rest ratio of our scene. Because if you just go long distance running, that's different kind of stamina that you get compared to just throwing rounds in breaking. So I would run sprints, and I would add a sprint every single week. So I would start with four laps, like half a minute as fast as possible, and half a minute just walk and relax, right? And do this 4 times.
Mhm.
And every week I would just add one more until I get to like 11 or 12 rounds. That's when it gets hard, but at the same
Yeah.
time, you work your way up there and you'll be ready for a battle like this. Because if you only break, then eventually you just end up hurting yourself. So you gotta mix it up or boost it up into some other ways of training.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. So
I know all about hurting myself.
Yep.
knee injuries, shoulder injuries, neck injuries, yo, they're everywhere in breaking. That's
I have
why
no
a lot of
knees
people
right
don't want
now.
to do it, yo. We do it because we
Know
love it.
all about it. Yep.
Mhm.
What are you gonna say, Eric?
So I guess this is a good topic because whenever big topics is training on longevity, and you covered like just the like how you train for like the actual battle. So in terms of longevity, do you do any like strength and conditioning work? So you mentioned the sprints. Do you do like a lot of like strength training as well, like outside of breaking?
I do different things, yes. And that also has changed throughout the years. Nowadays, I do more of free weights. I do some kettlebell training once or
Kettlebells, yeah.
twice. Yeah, once or twice a week. And I do a lot of yoga on the side as well. So
Mhm,
that like additional training has calmed down from the crazy years slightly. So
mhm,
yoga is really, I believe, the antidote for breaking. Can
mhm.
fix a lot of things that goes wrong with our breaking training and create a
Ah,
balance. It helps us to breathe with our movement and exercise, and also um, brings balance for both sides of the body, because breaking is pretty one-sided. No matter how
yeah.
hard you try, it always ends up being one-sided in a way.
Mhm,
So additional training kind of supports that and creates more balance in our mind and our body as well.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I gotta get back into the yoga. I'm slacking a
Mhm.
little bit.
Yes, indeed. Me too, I'll be honest, but I'm getting back to it next week.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Forget it.
And a quick question: is there a place for like barbell work, like in breaking or anything like that? Like kind of like like maybe like snatches or like bench press. Is there a place in that for breaking, or would you say that's more for like just aesthetics?
Um, yeah, I still personally I love free weights more than all the expensive and difficult machines. Free weights over anything, but barbells and all of that stuff I still use myself, especially doing like squats and stuff to get my knees stronger and the
Mm-hmm.
supportive muscle around the knee stronger. Then I do this on a weekly basis. Yes.
Ah, okay,
Oh, yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to battling again. So like I said before, like you've done like so many battles and you're at like almost every jam. When do you feel like you blew up as like you got like your name out there and you started like flying everywhere, stuff like that? Like what do you think? Was it like one event where you're just like after that, like it was just a whirlwind? Or was it like you just slowly built up
Cumulative
over time?
events.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was 2 events. Freestyle session 2004, freestyle session 8, the one at the Queen Mary boat.
Yeah. That's
That
the one.
that was something that made us break in the States. That was our first big battle, and a lot of people were surprised about who are these Finnish guys that have a lot of style. What the hell is this? But that was one thing. And the next year, of course, Circle Kings, the first one, when we beat up Rocksteady in the final for the first time. After that, I started going to more and more events. So those two were definitely something big as far as the future travels and battles.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And also like in your prime, who would you say would be maybe like some of your rivals like worldwide or in the scene? Because I remember like a lot of times I remember during a lot of people wanted you to battle Born. I remember that was a thing back then. So like who
That
are
was
like
like
some
a
of your
dream.
rivals?
That was like a dream battle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was one for sure. Absolutely. I remember hearing about Born for the first times, and some people saying like, you guys got similar styles. There's some rivalry going on and stuff. So when I flew to Korea the first time, I called Born out in the ciphers. I'm like, all right, we're
Nice.
gonna see what you're made of. And I didn't do too good that year myself. Of jet lag, just finished out with the competition and stuff. So I was already tired before the battle. So I wasn't happy with that battle. So I went back the year after and I called him out again. and this time I did a little bit better. So I didn't get smoked that bad. That's one. That's one for sure. And naturally, we've been going back and forth with some of the skill methods guys for years.
True.
Like even like we battled them a couple of times on different occasions. So I had the exhibition battle with FleaRoc, and maybe a couple of years later then. Let me one second. Somebody's knocking at the door. I'll be right back.
It's all good. It's all good.
Damn, James, we're talking
buddy.
to focus.
Damn, we're talking to focus,
Talking
bro.
focus.
Shit.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yo, the DVD though? No, I'm joking. Yeah, yo.
No,
Yeah, look
see,
at this man's wall, bro. This man's wall is so dope.
Legend.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yo.
So yeah, about rivalries. A dope thing that we had with skill methods going back and forth. We battled a bunch of times. Some we won, some we lost. And one of the exhibition battles with Flea in Poland over the top, I think it was 2009 or something like this, the year.
Yeah, over the top, yeah.
Yeah, so we battled a bunch of times, and even after a decade from there, I think 2019, when Flea battled Bboy in V1, after the exhibition battle, he just went like, all right, focus, let's go for some more rounds. So he called me out after the exhibition battle, and we kept going, which was pretty dope. So it's been going back and forth. Got mad respect for these guys, and what Flea did at BC1 a couple of weeks back was really incredible. Super amazing. So
what was that question you asked Emma about?
We were gonna ask what was so people like in our like, because we post about it all the time, we just post like whatever. People were like, how did, like, beginners usually were like, how did FleaRoc win? Like, they didn't get it. And were you there at the BC one? I think I saw you.
I wasn't there. No, I wasn't there. I was watching the live at home. Chilling at the sofa and enjoying the show.
So what we asked Emma, like, we know why, but like some of the beginners might not, like, I don't know how to explain it perfectly, but why did FleaRoc win? Except for how do you beat Shigekix, basically? Because like they think like Shigekix did like crazy.
Like, this
like,
kid
air flare,
he did like this crazy power and all that. And FleaRoc, he did like a lesser version of that. And he just did some like that. This is what beginners a lot of people that don't know too much about breaking say.
Yeah. So how could you like put it into words better than me?
So if I like I said to you before, like when I saw breaking the first time, so all that caught my attention was the flashy power, and that was it. But I didn't understand and know about the other aspects of the dance. I didn't know about being in tune with the music. I didn't know about originality. I didn't know about battle skills, about execution, and all of that stuff. So in that way too, when I first saw guys like Ken Swift, I didn't understand it yet. So I had to get educated in order to understand what he's really about and how he flipped all the stuff and how he kept the form in the way that he did, even though he was mad original. So of course, with that knowledge, coming back to that battle, you have somebody who's amazing at what he does, really athletic and amazing with power, and the execution is on point. When you go to Flea's side, there was simply more of the essence. There was more feeling involved. There was a battle aspect to it, but still keeping it super complete and original. So I think that presence must have been felt like if you were there in the live event. We could see it from the video, but at the same time, if you're there sitting next to it, you feel there's a b-boy in the house who's out there to make some noise.
Made you feel. That's what I've heard from people.
Even when we were watching through the live stream, we felt it too. When he was doing the gun stuff, I was like, we felt that even through the screen.
Over.
Yeah, and doing that in the moment too. Like you could see that some of that stuff is improvised and created in the moment while like reacting to what you see with your opponent on the other side. And that's another skill to have, like freestyle versus sets, the classic topic.
Freestyle versus
can you react and still make it dope even though you haven't practiced it before? That's another whole other level of skill.
100%.
I was just about to ask you about that too. Like, what do you feel about the freestyle versus set type thing, like debate?
Yeah, especially with like Olympics coming up and like the standards in breaking has increased like in certain ways. Like, what is your opinion on like sets versus freestyle?
Yeah, of course, I can only speak from my perspective. I don't compete on the Olympic level anymore, so
Mhm.
maybe it's something that I don't know about. Naturally, I do coach the people, but the way that I was taught was simply I used to start with sets too. So I started with
Yeah.
power, and after that I started with sets like everybody else. Really soon I realized like if the music changes, I'm not able to shift the way that I break in a good enough way to match the music or match the battle or the opponent or whatever happens with the audience. Like that simply didn't work. I wasn't happy with it. It was mad boring to do the same sets over and over again, no
Mhm.
matter how much you tried to tweak it. But what happened to me was that I just sliced my sets into like 10, 15 small moves. And I
Oh, okay.
realized like shit, there is a move out of every single position of my footwork. You can go this way, this way, this way. There's always something that I can use now. So I don't have to plan it in that way. And around the time Keimel also came to Finland to teach, he taught some workshops and he said to everybody in the class, like sets are for beginners, guys. And that kind of opened up my eyes, like, yeah, that makes sense. So if you think about maybe it's two different things, if you really want to win a competition or if you really want to be a grandmaster of the art form. That's like winning a competition is cool, but if you want to go beyond it, like how can you become even more dope than winning BC1, for example? I think that's something that all the b-boys and b-girls could strive for, and that's far from doing the same set over and over again. It's all about reacting to the music and reacting to whatever is going down at the spot, and how do you feel based on that moment, and that can be expressed with a set that doesn't work.
100%. Yeah, I agree. Which is
Yeah.
again why FleaRoc, the Grandmaster, beat Shigekix, the BC1 champ, yo.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's how it
indeed.
went. But
So
yes.
there you go. So speaking of that too, how do you feel is the state of breaking right now? Like there's breaking has changed since your generation when you were like I guess you were saying that you were in Olympic shape, but I still think you still are, bro. I don't know. But how do you feel it is now compared?
I guess in terms of like the direction that it's going and like the
Yeah.
growth and like all that stuff, like what is your opinion on it?
It's a wide question because there's so many different ways or branches of breaking right now. You can aim to be an Olympic level athlete, or you can aim to be an underground cat,
Yeah.
which is like two different, completely different worlds, which is fine. I think there's something that in the scene that serves everybody. When I got started, there was really not that many ways of approaching breaking. Like breaking for a living wasn't an option because nobody in my area would be doing it. So you just did it because you fell in love with the dance, and whatever happened, whatever the music made you do, you did. But now you can kind of pick and choose whatever you want out of breaking. And I think it's a beautiful thing that not everybody has to do the same things. Not everybody has to look the same. I think it's a good thing that we have different options for different people, and whatever suits you, you can choose. You can become a ill cipher cat and still make noise in the circles, or you can just compete on the big stage level if you want. That's fine. You can organize battles if you want. You don't even have to break. You can become a DJ, producer, whatever it is. So in that way, I think our scene is beautiful, that it provides different ways to express for all the people, because everybody's different anyhow.
100%. Yeah. So like yeah, so now I guess now the way breaking is like you can pursue different paths, as you said, like the underground or the Olympic kind of thing. So it captures like a more wide range of like people. 'Cause I feel like before, back then, breaking was really hard to access because not too many people knew about it because it was very underground. But now like we're seeing it all over like YouTube and all that stuff. That now it's like it's capturing a lot more audience as well, which is I think is pretty sick.
Yeah, I think that's the beautiful side about the Olympics too. Like we're gonna be getting so much more of pairs of eyes seeing what we do, and hopefully for the next generation, it's gonna be good things. I think Rio, the Olympics, Summer Olympics over there had 3.5 billion people watching the Olympics.
Damn.
So imagine that kind of exposure for breaking.
Holy.
3.5 billion, half of the people in the world would know.
Yeah.
Yo, what is
What are we about?
what is 2% of 3.5 billions? Yo, those are the people that are gonna be converted to breaking. Let's go.
That's it.
That's
That's it. So yeah, that's pretty crazy if you put it in
Yeah.
perspective.
Mhm. Oh, and I
Yeah.
guess speaking of Breaking Olympics, so like when this was first announced, what was your opinion on it? Because I know it was very split. Like a lot of OGs were like not for it, and some were, of course, but then a lot of newer gens were for it. So what
It's
was your
more. It's more
initial
like
reaction?
it's more like the debate of like people saying it's not a
Like
sport
sport
and
or
this.
art or
Yeah,
like
it's
dance kind of
art.
thing?
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. I see. I feel that the Olympics need us. We don't necessarily need them.
Hmm.
Oh
The
yeah, they do.
Olympic organization, they need some things that are youthful, that are cool, that have feeling involved, that have creativity, that make the Olympics hip again in a way.
Yeah, I know
Hmm
what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So of course there's that, and that debate of sports versus art, culture. That's a long debate to have. I don't see us
Yeah.
as a sport, but at the same time we gotta train like the people in sports if you want to be at the ultimate top.
Hmm.
So I don't see that as an issue in a way too. I see more after long thought about it. Like once the news hit, I wasn't sure what I felt about it. After thinking about it through, I was like, shit, this is not for me. This is for the next generation. This is for
hmm
our students, and our students is students. And anything for them, if there's going to be more opportunities for them, I can only root for it in a way. So I'm definitely feeling it, and I think it's going
100%.
to be good for the breaking scene. Yes.
And of
hmm
course, a big topic of Breaking Olympics is the judging system. But right now, since we're poor breakers, we don't have Zoom Pro. We're gonna have to. It's okay. We invite you to the Zoom.
That's the
Yeah, we gotta
underground aspect of it.
Yeah, hundred
We'll be
percent.
right back.
pop over
All right,
here.
baby, we back, yo, for part two, yo. So we're into the juicy topic, especially one that was in Canadian breaking. As we're gonna talk about judging. So your focus. So I guess one of the main topics for judging is should a battle be judged as a whole or should it be judged round for round, in your opinion?
I think the battle should definitely be judged round for round.
Okay.
Mm.
Yes, that's the way I've been judging ever since I started judging.
Hmm.
Round for round with my own notes, first of all. Then, if there's a system in place, of course, I use it. But my judging is based on round for round. Yes.
Hmm.
Mm.
And I guess
As
another thing, like, do you know how like when two people battle, like like when people throw around. So would you count that as one full round winning, or would you count that as like, oh, this guy like beat this guy so bad he should win like basically 2 rounds for that 1 round? Like, does that get into account, or
if it's like a 2 round battle.
yeah? So let's say yeah, like if it was a 2 round battle.
Can you repeat? I'm not sure if I got it.
Oh,
You
sorry.
speak about, yeah. All right,
Yeah,
one more time.
so let's say like first round, like they both had like an equally good round, but one person wins it. But second round
Mhm.
comes, the other person that lost the round, he threw like a super hard round, but the other guy threw in like a really weak round. What would you still score that as a tie, or would you score it to the guy that threw a super hard round in both sets?
Of course, you would have to go case by case. I do everything to avoid ties as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, if the rounds are tied, then in that case, I look deeper into the
Okay.
the level of burning in that specific set of rounds.
Burning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So maybe in that case, I would go for the one who made himself stand out more. But of course, you would have to go case by case.
Okay.
Do you put like so you put a more of an emphasis on like if the person burn the other person more? Do you put like as much emphasis on crashing? Like if it was like a little crash, not like a big like you fall out of a power move, but like a little like stumble, a little bit.
Yeah,
Like
of course, you again, like hard to say this without seeing the
yeah,
actual battle. There's
true.
different levels to it. There's also different ways to crash. There's ways to crash in a way that comes out as being something creative if your freestyle skills are dope, and you can kind of save it in a way that it becomes something that's even more dope. So that's maybe something like this. It's not a black and white issue.
True.
There's
True.
layers to it.
Mm-hmm. And
If
I
your
guess
hat falls off, is that a crash? That's another.
That's definite crash. Yes,
oh,
that's a definite crash.
there you go, guys. There you go.
All right.
True. Oh, and focus. I remember you judged like a lot of jams. So what was like your favorite system that you use? So there's like the Trivium or whatever.
Trivium, and then the hour system that
The hour
Disney made up. or even the one that you were just talking about before,
Mm-hmm.
earlier in the pod. Which one do you feel is like
Alright.
the most like genuine, like the
Or,
best system for
I
breaking?
guess it's a system for breaking or for
Or it's a
like
good start.
Olympics or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, different level events have different level requirements. You go
Mhm.
for an Olympic level competition, then maybe there should be a system in place. And to my knowledge, Trivium is doing pretty good job on that level of judging. There's the Cosen system, there's the
Yeah, the
hour
Kozen.
system, and no hold it back system with the flags and
Yeah,
a
yeah.
personal round for round system and all of that. Naturally, in an underground setting, I love going for round on myself, paper and a pen. That serves underground events just as fine. But again, different levels of events. Olympic breaking for gold kind of event has a different requirement than an underground concrete jam in Switzerland, for example. There's different resolutions that work for each.
Right. Ah, okay. And I guess so. Going back to our main audience, because so a lot of our audience is the Canadian breaking, because we're from Toronto. So I'm just wondering, like, I guess a lot of Canadian breakers are wondering, like, well, what is your opinion on Canadian breaking, or if there's any like notable b-boys that you know from Canada?
Of course, Canadian breaking has a beautiful history that has influenced the world and has influenced me a lot too. I'm always I battled bag of tricks in the early 2000s actually.
Ooh, okay. Nice.
Hey!
Let's
Yeah,
go. Let's
we
go.
had Benzo and
Hey!
Enzo, yo,
Mango
let's
and other
go.
guys. They came to
Oh.
Sweden, so we called them out. Ended up
Hell
battling
yeah.
them. Went for some
Oh
rounds.
shit. We'll ask
And
Benzo when we talk to him.
yeah, also like of course at the time I'd already seen Gizmo and other bag of tricks guys, so I was looking up to these guys already at the time. And what Gizmo did already earlier on was really amazing. I still go back to the footage and get inspired by his creativity. Gizmo is dope. And of course, seeing Boogie Brad, seeing Migas, seeing Gadget, seeing everybody from that aspect was really an eye opener as well. What you can do as far as maintaining a great form, but still being very creative with it. They influence the world as well. Yes, indeed.
You hear that? Shout out Flex, bro.
Yeah, let's go.
So yeah, and you were talking before about making money, like making money breaking. There's so many more opportunities now. Let's talk about what you do right now with your dojo system. So what is
YouTube channel as
Bboy
well.
Dojo and YouTube channel? Yeah, what is Bboy Dojo? B-boy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now I work with 3 different companies. I have Cypher, which is my dance studio that we've been running with some of the crew members for 11 years already. It's a physical location in Helsinki where we teach street based dance styles, breaking, hip hop, house, popping, locking, and such. So there's that. Bboy and Bboy Dojo has been operating for 6 years right now. Wanted to create it with AT to be one of the places where you can actually get all the inspiration needed in order to take you from a beginner to a grandmaster level, wherever you're from, right? We had to travel for our knowledge. We had to ask mad questions, buy mad flights, get all the copies of VHS tapes, and try to kind of like put the puzzle together on our own. So anything that we learned from the travels, wanted to put it up on the dojo, and it has grown from there. Like started in 2015. From there on, I got a great team working with me right now. Shout out to Charles. Shout out to Kian, and shout out to Mark Ziller in Canada. 3 guys working in Canada.
Yo, Mark Ziller.
Oh, really?
Right now. Yes, indeed. Shout out to these guys and everybody else who's helping the dojo go further. We got great things where we're working with Mr. Wiggles, working with Paul, Storm. We have a teacher's education where we train breaking teachers about the art form of teaching and tools. And that's been dope. People who went through the course, they've been getting a raise with the certificate they get from the course from their bosses. Like, look, guys, I went through the course, so pay me more. And that's worked for a lot of people. People have been getting hired to their new jobs because of this. So that's been really amazing. Yeah.
Damn, yeah. I might have to get in that student part.
Yeah. That opens up yearly, so we open it up again next spring. on top of this, I do the knowledge drop. It's a weekly quick podcast for YouTube that I'm
Mhm.
pushing out. So breaking related
Mhm.
history, philosophy, and concepts, just for the people worldwide to keep them inspired. So that's pretty much it with the dojo. I have a new company called Cypher Space that I'm working with. We are creating a social media platform for breakers. It's going to be
Okay.
released next year, so that's still
Let's
about to
go.
come.
Mhm.
All right. We'll start. It's
A lot
just
of cool
breaking.
things going on. Yeah,
Yeah,
work
man.
as the national head coach for the Finland team heading for Paris. A
Yes.
lot of
Yes.
cool things going down right now and keeping me busy.
Mhm.
Who are your Olympians or your what's the right word? I don't know. Who's like the who's gonna represent Finland for in the Olympics?
All right, we have a team that we are training to become even better. Naturally, we don't know about the selection process for
Okay.
the final
Okay.
games yet, so we're gonna see. But for example, next 2 weeks there's the World Championships in Paris. So Hat Solo is going.
That's
There's a
all.
people
Yeah.
called
Yeah.
Haiku that's going. AT is going for the B girls, and also Kit T, Tanya, a newer generation B girl is gonna rep. So
Nice. Mhm.
Okay.
start with this, and who knows, Paris 24 is soon, so 3 years of work to be done.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Shout out Hat Solo. One of the first
But I had
favorites right
Solo,
there.
White Gorilla. He
Yeah,
just won the third place at the
How about
European
that?
champs. Yeah, that's what it is. Smash the floor and make your
Yeah.
presence felt.
Mhm,
Yeah,
100%.
yo. Yeah, watching Hat Solo, like when I like first began, it was like, oh, you can actually have a character. You don't have to just do fucking moves. Like you can, you can like
Yeah,
have
and
like tell a
that's another
story.
topic. Yeah, that's another aspect as well. Why FleaRoc won?
Yeah, exactly. Mhm.
Yeah, yo.
Alright,
So
alright,
we got a couple more questions left. I don't know. We gotta try and like stick this in before. One question I got is like, what is the craziest call out you've been a part of?
Craziest call out would have to be UK Champs 2007, I believe. I was there battling with some FlowMo guys and some Ghost Crew members. We did the
Mhm.
battle the year or the day after. But the day before, we go into the pre-party with DJ Premier on the decks. So Primo was
Oh, yeah?
spinning and he went for
shit.
classics.
Mhm.
And at the same time, I walk into the cipher and Rocksteady is there, the whole
Mm.
crew. And suddenly you get that B Street moment where everything
Oh, okay.
gets ready, and it's a crew battle, crew against crew, and he went on for a lot of rounds. And Rocksteady
yeah.
at the time was they had a crazy lineup of a lot of the Florida heads as well. So you had
Mm.
Flea, you had Venom, you had Heps, Fury, and all of these guys. So that was a crazy battle.
It's a
That
war.
there's
Mhm.
no footage
man.
about, so it's only the stories.
Ah, yeah, knowledge drop right there.
Yeah, let's drop that knowledge.
Yep.
Right. So we also have our staple question that we ask every guest.
Uh-huh.
When's the time that you smoke somebody, and when's the time you've been smoked by someone?
All right. When is the time that I smoke somebody? Let me see.
Yeah.
He's looking
I
at
love
his,
my mom. I love my man Pepito, but I have to say I smoke Pepito. So he
Yo.
called me out, and that worked in a way that anything that he threw on the floor, I had no
Mhm.
plans. Like I was surprised by the call out, so I had no game plans whatsoever. Anything that he threw on the floor reminded me of a specific like a selection of moves that I had. So
Mhm.
anything that was going down on the floor, I'm like, shit, I got stuff to rock on this
Fun.
round, and that came on get going on for rounds after rounds after rounds. I was just adding on to whatever I saw on the floor. That made it into a dope discussion, and I always had something in the sleeve to throw against him. So that was dope. That was Radical Force anniversary a couple of years ago. The worst I ever got smoked was when 2003 I won a competition in Norway with these guys called the Beef Noodles, a couple of B-boys from Sweden. We battled the whole night, and of course, with not as much experience yet, but we ended up winning the whole thing. Now, after the last final battle, KML was hosting the event, and the Storm and Remind and Speedy were judging. So after the final battle, we're completely done. We gave it all on the floor in the final battle. And Camo grabs the mic and he's like, shit, there's gonna be one more battle. The winner is against us.
Nice.
Completely destroyed, and they smoked us so bad. It's
Dude,
painful.
it was all it was all
Hurts.
conspiracy right there. He's like, yo,
It's all
we can-
Yeah.
what is this? It was a setup.
Imagine
Yeah.
03 Camo in his prime, Reminder in
Yeah.
his prime, Storm
Oh,
in his
no.
prime, and Speedy.
Oh,
You want your money, you gotta beat all three of us now.
Yeah.
oh my
Yes,
god! Yeah, after
indeed.
you go through the whole competition too.
Yeah.
So it was
You
kind of
repeated.
humiliating, but at the same time, a good lesson. Like always have something in the sleeve for one more extra
Oh,
battle.
shit.
True, 100%. All right,
Damn.
is all the question we have, James?
That's pretty much all I got on my list.
All right, sick. So
Yeah.
Focus, would you like to give anyone a shout out, like your business and everything, like right now?
Yeah, well, when is this gonna be out?
Oh, we're gonna release this
Isn't that-
next Friday. So the coming Friday we have an episode with B girl Emma. She'll be representing
Yeah, shout
Canada
out,
in the Olympics as well. And then next week we'll have this out on Friday.
Dope. Well,
Yeah.
with the dojo, we have the Dojo Footwork Cup that's open. So you still have time to join up. We close this round of the prelims on the 5th of December. So you still have a couple of days to join the battle. I'm throwing prizes worth of 800 euros or about the same as dollars over there. Just cash, coaching, courses, custom artwork, all of that stuff for the best and illest b-boy or b-girl with footwork. So mark your rounds, go to bboydojo.com/footwork cup and get your rounds in, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll provide the link in underneath in our description of YouTube as well. But
And
yeah.
when is
Nice, thank you.
when is the anniversary again? It's in April, maybe.
Anniversary is going down at the end of May, most
End of
likely
May.
2022. That's
Yo,
when we
Mark.
usually do it.
Mhm.
So FlowMo
Alright.
anniversary 20 years deep.
B-boys,
Hell
B-girls,
yeah.
mark that date. That's a reason to go to Europe, man. If you want to head
Yeah,
out
yo,
on a legendary
yo,
cruise.
Khalil,
Yes,
Khalil,
indeed.
let's
Hope to see you
go.
guys over there as well. Get those
You brought it up,
flights.
Khalil. You
100%.
gotta go now.
But yeah, so
Yeah, man.
this is
When
episode.
when are you
oh,
gonna
wait.
come to Canada, man? When you coming to Canada?
Hopefully soon. Who knows? Traveling is not that easy at the moment, but
true.
at the
Yeah,
same
it's tough.
time, yeah. I only went
You-
once.
Mm.
Was it Flavor to Burn? Was it the event? I'm not sure.
When
Anyhow,
was that? Where
an
was it
event
actually?
in Montreal.
Montreal,
about,
okay.
Oh.
yeah, maybe 14 years ago, something like that.
Oh,
Quite a while ago
that's-
already.
For my
And that's the
time.
only time I went. Yeah, it was a quick in and out. Customs was pretty hard. They were like, "You're not coming in." I'm like, "Yeah, I am." Canadian border is not that easy.
Damn.
No, it's not.
Yeah, after all that work, it was a dope event. Had a good time.
That's
I need
dope.
to
Yeah,
come
yeah.
back. I've never been to Toronto and the other cities as
Yo,
well.
Focus,
So
come
need
back,
to
yo.
experience
We'll
that
take you
scene.
around, yo. We show you everywhere in the scene, yo.
Yeah,
we
we'll show you the
go.
Yeah,
CN
but-
Tower. We'll show you all the bums all over the place. Everything is all nice. Take you to Chinatown. But yeah, man. All right, well, honestly, it's been an honor
Yes.
just to talk to you.
Focus
Like,
is
I
it's,
can't
it's
wait
an
to
hon-
see you in a
it's
couple
an
years.
honor.
Talk.
Yeah, and
Good luck with
yo,
the podcast. Keep grinding. It's all about
Thank you.
longevity in this one too.
mhm.
I'll be tuning in for this episode and all the other ones
Let's
yet to
go.
come.
Thank you so much, Focus.
Oh,
And
say what?
ladies and gentlemen, that was It's Just Breaking, episode number 43, and we got the legend. We got one of our heroes. Most people don't get to meet the hero of their sport or dance or art, but we did, and we got to talk to him for 1 hour. Thank you so much, Focus.
Appreciate it, guys. Take care.